An extract from Ffinnant, the prophecy, written by me, Lazarus Carpenter. The fat man came back to reality as he blasphemed. He was unable to stay seated as the wagon jolted, and like the barrels was sent flying to the ground. He landed in a heap, face first into the mud. His cursing became almost lost as he bubbled incoherently. His hat had been flung off into a puddle as he fell, and I witnessed the fattest, baldest head that I have ever seen. He was the colour of beetroot, with a great jowl hanging loosely over his collar, spittle drooling from a tight little mouth that was almost unseen, hidden by limp flesh. The horse again whinnied and carried on undisturbed as the wagon wheels turned, sinking into the mud, squelching and splattering, drenching this heap of fallen body upon the ground, which now moved slowly, like a great boar rising from a deep slumber. He continued to curse as he rubbed mud from small piggy eyes with great fat fingers. He was clearly having great difficulty in his attempt to raise his bulk from the mire. I stepped to the side of the great horse and, reaching up, grabbed at the loose reins, pulling them taut, the bit jolting in its soft mouth. Quietly the cob stopped and stood perfectly still, tail happily swishing, rest time assured. Behind us came sounds of grumbling and groaning, accompanied by cursing as the deep heap scrambled in the mud. I turned around to see the huge man struggling to his feet, picking his battered hat from the sludge. Looking first at me with a glancing look of surprise, he then turned quickly, surveying the shattered barrel, before noticing the other stuck in the hedge. He turned back towards me and shouted in English with a slurred voice, spittle dripping from the side of his small, tight mouth. "You, dwarf! You frightened my horse! You!" He coughed and spluttered. "Look at this damage! Who will pay for this? You? I think not." Putting the dirty, battered hat back on his fat head and turning towards the shattered barrel, he screamed, "Look at this! Just look at it!" I looked at the fractured barrel, smashed to smithereens, scattered here and there across the sodden track. I knew some of his words, not all, but enough, I can tell you, to realize this fat heap of a drunkard was blaming me for the mishap. A mishap that would not have happened at all had he been of sober mind. Drunkenness did very strange things to folk, the most noticeable, of course, being an inability to speak coherently, whether or not the language could be understood. The signs are the same in every language. Quaffing ale in great quantities ends up with nobody able to understand what is being said by the drunkard, often leading to great confusion and violence.